everyone, welcome back to Aggie Knits. Hello again, my name is Devin. I am the host of Aggie Knits, and if you are new here, I just talk about all of my knitting things, everything I love about knitting. I've got a lot of yarn to get through, got a lot of projects. Oh my gosh, I have so many projects over the past couple months, and I have a lot of yarn because I had my birthday in March. So we've got a lot to go over. I just wanted to give a little bit of a debrief of the past couple months before I got into the knitting. It's been chaotic, so that's why I had not done a video for last month, but we're back. I started working again, and of course I'm taking care of my son full-time stay-at-home mom, and now I started doing some part-time remote work as well, so had to prioritize that for the time being, but it was just a little seasonal job, so that is over now, and now I can put my time back to what I love, which is knitting. I feel very blessed to be able to say that I can do that. You know, my husband does work full-time, and you know, we pinch pennies where we can, but I just wanted to be able to prioritize taking care of my son. So that's what we've been doing a lot of over here. So I also, what did we do? We started looking to buy a house, but can't do that. Interest rates are insane right now. So that was probably like 3 weeks of good focus, you know, trying to house hunt, doing all that, and it just kind of, it wasn't working out. So we're gonna be staying here for a little while longer, renting, and you know, we just have a wonderful landlord, which is not a lot of people can say that. So we are really blessed in that area too. So it's not like we're disappointed or anything. It's just not the right time for us right now. So that's all that was going on in the past month and a half, which was so much mental focus for each of those two things. So that's why I did not make a video. Let's just get into the knitting because I'm starting to ramble. It's 2 minutes in and not gonna be pretty if I keep going on like that. Firstly, this top that I'm wearing right now is my Norma Jean turtleneck from Fable Knitwear, and I modified it to have short sleeves. It is knit up in Kelborn Woolen Scout in the colorway Mulberry Heather. This was knit up on size 5 needles, and it took me about 4 days. I think I'd originally done this project last year, and I did the long sleeve version of it, but at the time I was pregnant and it no longer fits me in the pregnant size that I knit for myself. So I scrapped it, redid it, and I am so happy with it now. It is so nice. I think it looks so classy and elegant, and unfortunately, you know, being a stay-at-home mom, that means that I don't have too many opportunities to actually go out and wear it because I'm not really going out much. So I tend to wear this one for church or for going out for lunch with my mom or things like that. So here it is because it needs its time to shine. I think it's such a lovely blouse. Fable Knitwear, so Helene, she's wonderful. She is so great. I love all of the patterns that I knit up from her. Something that I will say though is if you are planning on doing any of her patterns that have any kind of shoulder detailing, which is most of the ones that she has available, trust her sizing for it. I don't know what it was. Going into it, the first time I made it, the long sleeve version, I thought that my shoulders were broad going into it, and I know that they are, but she had already compensated for that in the pattern, and she said as much, but I did not believe her, and my shoulders ended up starting like around here, and the poof started real low. I had to do some cinching, which made a little bit of unintended ruching, but it looked unintended, so it wasn't really something I could get away with, but redid it, trusted her that time, and now I think it's lovely. I think it's just real pretty. So this is the Norma Jean turtleneck from Helene from Fable Knitwear. So because I have so many projects to go through, I figured, you know, staple black tank top underneath would be good. I have, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, let me grab it, 6 and 7 finished objects for these past 2 months, which is a lot of knitting, and I think 1, 2, 3, 4 of them are self-drafted, and then the other 3 are from Fable Knitwear. So I think I'm gonna start off with the one baby knit that I did, and then we can get into the stuff that everyone's probably more interested in. This is the Junior Mont Mart sweater. This, I believe, was just released by Helene, but this is the size 1 to 2 years, and my son right now, he is 6 months, so I figured the 1 to 2 years would be the perfect size for when he is, okay, let me start it. I figure it would be the perfect size because in winter he will be 1. There, okay. When the weather matches the sweater, it will work out. This is knit up using Knitting for Olive Merino in the colorways Blue Tit is the darker one, and then Ice Blue is the lighter one. I think it is just so adorable. This, when I started knitting this up, I was a little nervous because she has some interesting way of doing the neck shaping, which if you do decide to do the sweater, you'll notice, but once again, trust her, she knows what she's doing. And I was a little nervous knitting it up, but as soon as I did the collar, it all really came together, and it looks like a little boy sweater. And I think that is so cute because all of my other knits for Lewis, which are actually also all Fable Knitwear, all my other little boy knits for Lewis, they're just like, they look really baby, but this one is little boy. And it's like, oh, knitting it up, I was like, wow, he's already growing up. So that's the Junior Mont Mart sweater. I won't go too much into detail about it because, I mean, it's a raglan sweater for a kid, and I don't know if there's too much more I can say about it. So, there. Next up, we have this little one skein tank that I made. I'll put it on. We'll show what it looks like. I actually modeled this one after, here, let me do that first because I figured it'd probably crunch my mic. I modeled this one after an American Eagle tank top that I have, and it was just like the perfect fit top, so I figured may as well turn it into a knit shirt, and I love it. That arm line I think is really nice. I knit this one up using Madeline Tosh Pashmina in the colorway Fatal Attraction. I got this colorway, or this skein, so long ago. I got it when I still lived in Tampa, and I think that's gotta be almost a year now. No, it's actually over a year now. Yeah, over a year now since I had originally purchased this. I used about a quarter of the skein to make a really nice headband that I wore all the time in the winter. It's so warm, so I probably will make another version of that in a different yarn this upcoming winter. But I just loved the color so much, and I had, 3/4 of the skein still sitting in my yarn cabinet, and I just felt bad. I wasn't really using it. It was just sitting there, sitting still and looking pretty, but I didn't want it to be doing that. I wanted it on me. So I grabbed, I think it was size 7 needles, and I just cast it on for the shoulders. I believe I did 15 stitches on either side. Here, let me take it off so I can talk about it better. So I did 15 stitches on either side of the top, there. Went down, as I went down, I increased, I believe, every row. And then I did a very low starting armhole shaping because I wanted it to have more of that sporty look, pretty much like the tank I'm wearing right now. But did that, did some back loop cast on for the center, and just knit down, then knit all around once I got to the actual body of it. I really just got away with having enough for here because you can see, where did I just saw it. Yeah, I had to really, really work to make sure I could have enough to bind off on this thing. I knit all the way to the bottom, and then I ended up needing to go back 2 rows so I would have enough for it. So it was definitely, it ate up my skein, but I'm glad it did because this yarn is pretty expensive. I think when I had originally purchased it, it was $36, which is already expensive, goodness. But now when I look it up, I think it says it's like 42 or 44 or something. And I mean, yes and no, it's worth it because if you are regularly spending, $30 on a skein, yeah, it's worth it. It is a cashmere silk merino blend. It's super soft. The colors just show up beautifully. But if it's not something that you normally spend, you know, if you're not normally spending like $30 a skein, then I don't know if I'd get it. I'd probably just get like a cash sock from a hand dyer, an indie dyer, and those ones end up being like $30, so I'd save myself the money on it. Anywho, I love this tank. I have worn it so many times since I first knitted up, and I think that just, I like that cycle that knitting can have where you have it for something in a certain season. Like I had it as that headband in the winter, but now that that season has passed, I can just repurpose it into something that I'm going to wear even more and love even more. And I love that. Oh, this is getting a little too deep, but I love that little bit of creative energy that we can tap into and just have so much fun in. So yeah, this is my little one skein tank. Project number 3, this is the first test knit of the year. No, I lied. This is the second test knit of the year that I've done for Fable Knitwear for Helene, and oh my goodness, it is so pretty. This is the first vest that I've ever knit, and I mean, of course, being the first vest, it's the first cabled vest, but this is the second cabled piece that I've knit. First one for me. And look at that beautiful pattern. Oh my gosh. Just every time I look at it, I feel like it was worth the insane amount of money that I spent on the yarn. And normally I don't have this much money to spend. It's because I'm spending all my birthday money on yarn. So yeah, for this project, I used the Kelborn Woolens Perennial in the colorway 105 Natural. This yarn is 60% superwash merino, 25% surrey alpaca, and 15% nylon. It is 497 yards per 100 grams. So that's on the lighter side of a fingering weight yarn, but I did hold it double in order to meet gauge for the DK that she required for the pattern. And these buttons, my husband picked these out. I think he did a great job. Look how cute those are. It just looks so elegant. But because it's a vest, it doesn't feel too formal. Like, I think that if it were a sweater or something, I'd probably it would be the same situation as my other Fable Knitwear top. The, let me get this looking nice. The Norma Jean turtleneck. But because it is a vest, I can dress it down a little bit more. What I've been doing is I've been wearing it with these long jean shorts that I have. They're kind of like a light faded blue color, and I think they look so nice. Hello. My husband's going to do his hobby. He's going to work on his cars now, but yeah, or his car. So this, where was I? Oh my gosh, just this, look at that. Look at that shaping. She put so much thoughtful detail into every one of her patterns. Just look at that. Armhole shaping, everything just flows even to the back where you get, it kind of cuts you off in the middle of a cable, but it's just enough to be able to make these adorable little little halfsies on the side. I mean, what more can I say about this thing? I absolutely love it. I wasn't certain that I was going to love it when I first made it because of all the reasons I said before. First cabled vest, first vest. So many firsts in this project, but I do. It's absolutely perfect. And when I had first seen the project in its entirety, I was like, wow, I am going to be using a cotton for this. I want it to be something a little more breathable, something for summer. And I went to the yarn store and I just went, and that was it. This yarn was $28 a skein. And I bought 4 of them for it. I should have purchased 3. I miscalculated, but wow, that was expensive. And was it worth it? Yes and no. Yes, it was worth it for the 3 of them. Obviously, the 4th one was not worth it because it's, you know, I just miscalculated. So let me rethink that for a second. For the 3 of them, was it worth it? Yes. It is so soft. It is warm, but not hot. And it's so squishy. Like, it feels light, even though I held it double. his hobby's much louder than mine. So yes, even though I held it double, it has a lightness to it. And let me just try it on. Let me show y'all how adorable this thing is. I'm sorry if the microphone's making sounds and such, or and stuff, not such, that doesn't make sense. Okay, it's so cute. And I know this isn't gonna be everyone's preference, but one of the ways that I like to wear it is kind of a little bit showing between the halter and there, but if I'm not doing that, then, you know, this is fine too. I definitely prefer higher necklines, just in general, but even especially in my knitting, evidenced by this and every sweater that I have ever knit, but I prefer the higher necklines. This one does have a lower neckline when it's just, you know, sitting as it wants to. So I either pull it up or I have a necklace that goes between the two, and I think it looks super cute. So yeah, this is the, oh, I haven't said the name. This is the Bella Vest by Helene from Fable Knitwear. So far, each of the projects I've spoken about has taken a relatively short amount of time to knit up. The Bella Vest took me, I think, like a week and a half. The little sporty tank took me maybe 4 days to do. And then this little sweater for Lewis, this one did take a bit longer. This one took me like 3 weeks because I did get very sidetracked in the middle of it. But if I were knitting on this one straight all the way through, it probably would have taken me like a week to do. And that one's fingering yarn, but I do think it was on size 3 needles, so not crazy. This one though, this took me, oh, I shouldn't say this one though, this one as well took me 3 days to knit up, and this is a self-drafted top. It is using Drops Belle in the color 11, I think. I mean, the yarn is cheap enough to where I guess they don't really need to name it to get people to buy it. But this yarn, I bought it from Rito, and I think it was like $2 a skein. So this top cost me $3, or this top cost me $6 to make, which obviously much more affordable. And I did these little ties going down the center. I did only garter stitch ribbing because I didn't want to have to cast on to do that. I just wanted this to be a quick, easy project to do. Originally, I only had the top one tied. Let me show you what that looks like, because I think that I'm still preferring that. I was going to have, you know, all of them tied together so that I could wear it just this shirt. Except now that I have it done like that, I know that I'm never going to wear it without a tank top underneath, because, I mean, that's just not my style. I like to be a little more covered. So I think I may just take these out and wear it only as a vest on top of like dresses, or, you know, why am I recording my struggle? Okay, here it is in vest form. Yeah, I already like that better. I think it's cuter on me. Some people can really pull it off and they look adorable with that like coastal summer vibe. Not for me. I'm a winter girl. You can tell, you can see it in my face. Wearing a summery top like that it's just not gonna work for me. So this one, it is, I mean, you know, it's all over stockinette aside from the side ribbing, which is garter, as I said. And this one I also did a similar way, it's a similar structure to the knit tank that I did. I started with the front pieces, knit down to about here, then did the back, I did 2 separate back pieces, joined them in the center. I did kind of like a V in the back, I'll show that later on. But I did that, connected them at the armhole. I only did 3 backward loop cast-ons for the armholes because I wanted it to be, you know, not too gapey, but a little bit, not really. So that's what I did, knit it back and forth from there. And it took 3 days to do this one. Was it worth it? Yes. But do I think that I'm gonna wear it that often? Probably not. Honestly, probably not. It's a little bit rough under my underarm, which is so strange to me because I wear a lot of rougher wools and everything, but this is my first time using cotton yarn, and I can't say that I'm too happy with it. as I was knitting it up, it made that sound, which was terrible. It was so bad. And I use wooden needles, so that may have been contributing a little bit more to it. I did not enjoy the knitting experience at all, aside from the creative process of, you know, just seeing how it goes as it goes on. Now, another thing about my self-drafted patterns, I don't frog. I don't do that. I will do that if it's a pattern that I've purchased and, you know, I want it to be right. But when it's self-drafted, unless it's like a pattern that is being sponsored for me to knit, that's different. But if it's just for me, if it's just a one and done, I'm just gonna knit it up. If there's something that I don't like about it, I'll probably just ignore it. And that's how I am about the self-drafted ones. Everything else, I'm on it with detail, but I just wanted this one done. I wanted the other tank done. And that's what I did. So I'll take this off and show y'all what it looks like. Okay. This is the back. I liked this little V detail. It seemed a little bit more summery to me. I think it has such a nice flow and drape when it's open. And I was pretty surprised that it is so whole-y, considering it is a DK weight yarn, and I used a US size 4 needle on it. Which I know, you know, sometimes that's what the project calls for, and it looks very cohesive. But with this one, I think probably because the cotton, and I'm unfamiliar with the abouts for knitting it, so I probably gave it either a little bit too much leeway, or I don't know. Then again, I haven't washed it yet. I'm a little scared too, because I don't know if I should just toss it in the washer and dryer. Maybe I should risk it. I mean, it would be a good one to risk it on. It was $6 and it took me 3 days. I'm considering this. Anywho, that is my little summer vest top. Next, this one I'm very, very happy with. I think, you know, I don't know if I like this one or the Bella vest more, but let me show you guys. This little cardigan, oh my goodness, I love it so much. I'm dubbing it my pickle chips cardigan because these tortoiseshell buttons on it, with the grain behind it, they just look like pickle chips. And I'm here for it because as someone who was comforted by pickle chips during my pregnancy, I have a lot of respect for them. So, pickle chips cardigan. This one, this was also self-drafted. And this, I did get the inspiration from the Chantal cardigan from Drops, and that's a free pattern. The thing that honestly, the only thing that I got the inspiration from was the wide ribbing. The rest I kind of did on my own. That pattern has some armhole shaping, mine does not. It also is bottom up for the body and the sleeves. Mine was just for the sleeves, and the shoulder is shaped to the body more. Mine is a drop shoulder. I wanted a drop shoulder, I wanted super comfy. That wide ribbing, it just really inspired me though. I saw it there, so I want to give credit where credit is due. I was inspired by that pattern, and I'm sure if you knit it up, it would look similar to this one. But this one, I would say, is probably anywhere between a size small to large, dependent upon your desired ease. I, right now, have a 37-inch bust and a 27-inch waist, so I am normally on the medium side for the top half and then small side for the bottom half. It's because I'm nursing right now, so none of my clothes fit. Anywho, I think that because this is so oversized on me, it would probably even be a little oversized on a large and moderately oversized on a medium, very oversized on a small. I love this sweater so much. It is probably the softest sweater that I own. It is using the Juniper Moon Farm Harriet Fine in the colorway Wasabi. And this yarn I've been eyeing for a long time, this colorway in particular, because this was the first yarn that I ever used. In the first project that I did, it was the Petty Harbor socks. My second project was a sweater using fingering weight yarn and size 2 needles in Fisherman's Rib. We're gonna let that sit there for a second. That was a big beginner move. Anywho, got me hooked on sweaters, so thank you for the Polsey sweater, Kate Tarantieva. Now, the yarn that I had originally purchased for that sweater, that was the timber colorway. So it was a really pretty heathered, cool brown with some hints of blue and gray in it. Beautiful. And then I saw this one. I was very intrigued by it. I'll talk more about it when I get to the purchases section, but we'll just talk about the composition for the sweater. It is a 75% alpaca, 25% polyamide blend. I held this double, and I used 3.5 skeins for the entirety of the project. That's awesome. I mean, I think that's awesome. The yarn originally, I believe, is like $28. I did not buy it for that much. And I'm very proud of how much I got it for. So I will talk about that in a second, and I will put you guys on to the website that I buy most of my yarn from. This sweater was knit up using size 6 needles, bottom up. Oh yes, and that's why I was talking about the sizing before. Obviously, my speech today is a little scrambled. It's been a while since I made one of these videos, and I also have major mom brain, so that's just what it is, okay? Thanks for tolerating. I did 198 stitches as my cast on. 198, yes, and that makes, yes. I did 198 stitches for my cast on. I think that was a good move because it's really, really big, but the drape from the alpaca, and considering it's fingering weight yarn, is just lighter. Even when you hold it double, it still retains that lightness. It just drapes, you know, it just falls. It is so beyond soft. It's exactly what I wanted. This is my first knit cardigan, and I am now hooked on cardigans. I've been scanning patterns for so long. I need more cardigan recommendations because I love this one. Do I have anything else to say about it? Oh, I don't know if I should be proud or a little ashamed of this, but it took me 4 days to knit. 4 days. I think that was in part because I grow very, not addicted. Addicted is a strong and a tad insensitive of a word to use to describe it, but I think that you get the essence of what I'm going for there. I get hooked on the creative process of creating my own garments from my own patterns, or not really patterns, just from my own brain. And this was one of them, where I just knit all the way up to about here. I did the front panel, then I did the back panel, and I put it on. I was like, I don't know how I feel about it. So I did all the ribbing first, and I'm so glad that I did, because just doing the ribbing and seeing more so what the final product is going to look like, it just spurred my enthusiasm for doing the sleeves really quickly. I did each of the sleeves in 1 day. So yeah, 4 days total. And I mean like 4.5, because I washed and blocked it that night, and the next morning it was mostly dry, tossed in the dryer for a little bit because the sleeves got really long, and then I took it out, put the buttons on. So yeah, we'll say 4.5 days for all the finishings. But I love it. This might be one that I would consider making a pattern for. If y'all really like it, I probably would do that, because I just really enjoyed the process, and I would definitely enjoy making another one. So yeah, my little pickle chips cardigan. The name also, I'll give credit to my sister. She said, Devin, don't choose those buttons. It's gonna make it look like pickles. So I chose the buttons because I wanted it to look like pickles. So thank you, Ashlyn, for the name. And we have a little visitor here. I'm gonna go hand him off to his dad so I can finish my video. Mwah. Daddy's taking his time, isn't he? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay, so it's a family vlogging account now. No.
I have to make a cameo.
Seriously, so I was gonna save this for the purchases section, but he got me the best Mother's Day present ever. He's getting me a yarn spinning class, and I am so excited. Yeah, thank you, Ben.
You're welcome.
All right, so this is my second to last finished object, and this is Ben. Shoe fly. And this is the alley jumper from, again, Fable Knitwear.
Okay, we're gone.
Get out. Anyways, this is the alley jumper from Fable Knitwear, formerly known as the Diagon alley jumper. However, Helene has recanted her inspiration from Harry Potter sort of things, and I was just gonna leave it at the alley jumper, but I figured this has been a really popular pattern. I want people to know which one I'm talking about, so yeah. Anywho, this is knit up using the same yarn that I actually used for my other Fable Knitwear top. This is Kelborn Woolen Scout. This one is in the colorway Lichen. Yes, Lichen. Now, I had originally gotten one of these skeins from a friend who purchased it for me for, I believe, Christmas. Yes, Christmas. And she got me one skein, and it was so gorgeous. I looked at that color on the website probably a few weeks prior, and I had thought about getting it, but I was like, I don't know, we'll see. And glad that I did, because it came my way. Now, I did buy a second one in order to complete this project, but in my mind, then that's like $18 for a wool knit top, so that's definitely fine by me. So let me try it on. I'll talk about it in a sec. I think that this top would be so beautiful in like a powder pink. Picture that, like high tea. I think that would look so cute, but I'm wearing it in one of my favorite greens. So this is it's a DK weight yarn. DK weight yarn, knit up using size 7 needles. So pretty wide gauge, but I was planning on wearing it with a top underneath anyway, so it really doesn't affect it too much for me, except for up here where I have my decreases. And that may be because that is where I had my stitch marker as well. But, you know, just be careful of that if you do decide to do this project. This one I also modified to be a short sleeve instead of a long sleeve, and I modified the placement of the shoulder puffs. So as you can see right on this side, it kind of sits right on the shoulder. In the original design, it kind of sits a little further up, like it starts higher up on the shoulder. I didn't want that because I do feel a little self-conscious about the top width of my arm, and I knew that was just going to draw further attention to it. I think that it feels better on me this way. You can prefer it any which way you want. I prefer it this way. It is a double folded collar, and yes, knit bottom up, super fun. I've been really loving the bottom up construction lately. I used to really not. It used to be very bothersome to me because I was like, how long do I know to go for? Oh, that's another modification. It's 6 centimeters longer. Okay. I was very nervous when I first started doing bottom up. The first bottom up I did was also a Helene pattern. It was the Sugar Plum Jumper. And I was like, how do I know when to stop knitting? Because it may not be as long as I want it to be, but I won't know until I lift my arms with the sleeves on at the final, moment of the project being done. And it was very intimidating because of that. Now that I've done a few more, I know where my, I guess like the little happy place, my little happy medium of where I like things to sit on me. This one definitely achieves that. And I think that it looks so nice sitting where it does, because it has that twisted rib, which it has that beadiness to it. And because it's kind of the center of the waist and it has that beadiness, it's a very stark contrast between the top of the pant line or the skirt line and the bottom of the top. I think it looks very nice. I think it looks really elegant. And just these poof sleeves are so beautiful. I don't know how she does it. She has a shoulder detail on most of her tops, and somehow they all look so different, and they're all so beautiful. One of the other main differences though between this top and the other is that, of course, in addition to it being a bottom up and the other one being a top down, this one is a raglan. So you have those raglan decreases as well. I think it turned out really nice. One of the, I don't want to say problems about it being a raglan, because honestly for me it's a benefit, but I know I saw some people talking about it on their Ravelry projects that they didn't like that it has this extra material here. I do like that. I think that it looks really nice. It is, excess material, so that means that you are using more yarn because of this extra, little flap of stuff there. But I think it looks really nice. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I prefer a more, I guess, modest look. I like that it is not super form-fitting. I like that it is, it's a very high neckline. That's the kind of thing that I appreciate in really any garment for myself, for my own tastes. So just having that there, it fulfills everything that I wanted with this top. I have not worn this one out yet because I did finish it relatively recently and it's been very hot in Tennessee. Haven't worn it yet. Once again, this will probably just be like one of those going out to lunch with the girls tops or going to church tops, things like that. So yeah, this is the alley jumper from Helene. I did get this one as compensation for test knitting another project for her. I think it was actually the Junior Montmartre sweater. I love it. All right, and on to the last knit project. Okay, this last one I am so excited to talk about because this is a pattern that I'm going to be doing a test call for very soon, probably within the next 2 weeks. So if you're interested in that, go follow me on Instagram, or if you're just interested in my projects, go follow me on Instagram, same name, Aggie K Knits, and I post a lot about my projects on there. So you'll see it on there. I'm not going to do like an email test call. I'm not established enough yet to have an email list, and it seems honestly like a big hassle. So it's just going to be posted on there. This is my nursing cover. It is going to be named La Leche Blouse, and that is in honor of the Leche Institute, which helps so many women with their nursing, and also in honor of an apparition of the Blessed Mother in which she appears nursing Jesus and is called upon in Catholic circles for help with mothers who are really struggling with nursing, which I was one of them. So yes, this is the La Leche nursing blouse. Let me put it on for you. I did buttons on one side, so that's why this side is open. It's going to be fully buttonable. Yeah. But yeah, just a V-neck tunic with some nice buttons on the side. It has easy access for nursing, so probably for me, I would just unbutton the bottom two. I like to still have that coverage there. Unbutton the bottom two, ease of access for nursing, still coverage because as you pull it over, this side comes forward. That's what I like in a top. I like to be covered, but I also, if he needs to eat, he needs to eat. This top is knit up using yarn that was sponsored by Madeline Tosh, so it is Pebble in the colorway Pecan Hole, and the Tosh Silk Cloud, which was formerly Shibui Silk Cloud, and it is a mohair in the same name. It is the Pecan Hole as well. This is a 60% mohair, 40% silk blend, so very soft, very drapey, and I feel so spoiled because this is my first time using mohair as well, so I really love it. The neckline is knit only using Pebble, as is the ribbing on the sides. Pebble is silk, cashmere, and merino, I believe. I'll get the tags later. I'll put everything, in the caption like I normally do. All patterns in the captions, all yarns in the captions. I like that ease of access. So yeah, I think this is just really pretty, having that kind of sheer look there. So it gives the illusion of a more modern piece while also having a very traditional purpose and practical nature to it. So yeah, this top is very, I don't want to say warm because it's not hot, but it blocks wind. The mohair on this thing is like a dense, hatch roof kind of thing. It is not letting anything through. So definitely will keep you warm during those transitional months, but is also a great transitional piece getting through the colder months and coming into the summer season. I won't be wearing it in the summer though. Definitely not. This is a spring piece or fall to late fall. Yeah, so I'm going to be calling for test knitters soon. I think it's just really nice. It's very easy. It's just a lot of back and forth knitting. You got that. You have some shaping at the underarm in order to create this, not button band, but this design that is supposed to be able to fit over a full pregnant belly. So this is a transitional life piece as well, because you're going to be able to wear it while you are in the peak of pregnancy. And then when that baby's on out of there, you can wear it after too, because then it just looks like a drapey t-shirt. So yeah, I really love this pattern. I'm very grateful to Madeline Tosh for having sponsored this with all the yarn, because honestly, I probably would not have knit it otherwise, just because it's so expensive, you know, really expensive. And I can't afford that level of expensive. You know, if you are someone who frequents Madeline Tosh, you should use this yarn. But if you're not, I'm going to be listing a bunch of substitute yarns that honestly probably won't be as good, because this yarn's incredible, but they will be close in functionality. And that's what I'm going for. I want it to be easy access. I'm going to be doing pay what you can type pricing. So there's going to be like a 10% discount, 20% discount, 30% discount. And I think I may do like a 40% discount for new moms as well. So that's what the structure is going to be like. It's going to be, I feel like I shouldn't even need to say this, but it's going to be size inclusive sizing. We're going to go from extra, extra small to 5X. And if you want additional sizes, you know, just message me and I'll figure something out. But yeah, that's the Leche nursing blouse. All right, now that I have talked every one of these patterns to death, we can talk about the really fun stuff. This is my yarn acquisition. No, I don't say yarn acquisition on this channel because I think it romanticizes it a little too much for my budget. These are my yarn purchases. This is not all of them. This is just like a one of each kind of thing. I went way overboard this month. Not over my budget, because I didn't set a budget for my birthday month, but I just did a lot of shopping. Okay, the yarns that are the newest. Look at that. Take a good look. Oh my gosh. This yarn is from Augustin Yarns. This is the high twist yarn in the colorway Sunday in Heaven, I believe, or Sundays in Heaven, Sunday in Heaven. Now, the maker of this yarn brand, a very new yarn brand, like they just did their first shop update on May 4th, is my now friend, Liz Carlisle Smith, and she is such a good knitter. Oh my gosh, check out her Instagram. She has a very, I guess, like whimsical, feminine, she has a great eye for colors and for knit patterns. And now she has a yarn company. So I wanted to support, and it wasn't that hard to, because I mean, it's beautiful. I am not normally the type of person to go for orangey type reds, but when I saw this one, I just figured this is the perfect summer poppy red top. I'm not talking about the poppy tee from Petite Knitwear, though that would look really cute with this. But it's just, you know, the color of poppies. It is so pretty. Right now I'm looking at doing the Skyline tank top, no, Skyline t-shirt, or what's the other one? I think that was it, actually, Skyline t-shirt, but I'm not completely sold on it. I think that it's too bright a color for me to do like a lacy cable, anything like that. I think it needs to be plain, let the color speak for itself. I'm looking for pattern ideas for this. I have approximately 800 yards of this, and I'm normally a size small, so if y'all know of a pattern, please let me know. Liz was also lovely enough to send me these little unicorn tails of yarn, and they are so pretty. I do really think they look beautiful together, though I'm not that adventurous. So I am going to use them for something, probably stripes on a baby knit or something like that, but so beautiful. Each of those skeins ran me, I think it was $28, maybe, I don't know, something like that. Between $28 and $30. I bought 2 of them. It was $9 shipping. I paid $68 total, so, you know, like $28.50 maybe each. I love them. They are absolutely beautiful, and you should go check out her shop. Secondly, for the actual birthday purchase, this one was a gift from my parents, and this is also the Juniper Moon Farm Harriet Fine. This one is in the colorway, it says 2070, but I know it has a pretty name. I think it's Espresso. espresso, that's what it is. Yes, and I got 5 skeins of this. Now here is where I let you in on the incredible secret that is Little Knits. I have mohair in my got it. Little Knits is a Seattle, Washington-based yarn distribution company, but they sell yarn, like, I mean, they have to get like overstock or something. It's probably like, I don't want to say like the Marshalls of yarn, because they do have really high quality yarns there, but I think you get the gist of what I'm saying. Like, they have the expensive stuff, they sell it at a much lower price. Okay, so this yarn is normally, I believe, $28 a skein. I got this pack of 5 of them for $54, I think, including shipping. So that is just like crazy. Like, come on, $54, that's the price of 2 of them. So yeah, this was a very good birthday purchase. And on to the second, which, something else, this yarn is actually not as soft as this colorway. I know that that's a common complaint about darker versus lighter yarns, but it is kind of noticeable in this. Anywho, the Wasabi Juniper Moon Farm Harriet Fine, this one's insane. So I got they call it the big bag and the full bag. The full bag is the 5, the big bag, I got 10. So 10 of these skeins, $28 each originally, you know, the normal pricing. I got 10 of them for $87, including shipping and taxes. What? Okay, that's like $8.70 each, including all the extra stuff going on with it. That's insane. That is, what is that? I'm not gonna do the math right now. I'm not, because I'm just gonna embarrass myself. No, it's about 1/3 of the price. I'm gonna do the math. It's about 1/3 of the price of the original stuff. And is this a color that I would have originally purchased? Probably not, but it's close enough to one that I would have been over the moon about, to where it was well worth it. And especially well worth it now that I have my beautiful pickle chips cardigan out of it. Now I have 6.5 skeins left of that. So I've got a lot to make do with there. Next is the Perennial from Kelbourne Woolens, which I already spoke about. It is the colorway Natural. This is the one I used for the Bella Vest. I have 1.5 skeins of this left, and I am going to be knitting up it's a jumper from the petite knitter who is now known as Sasky & Co., which I'll talk about after the yarns. But yeah, I bought 4 of these, $28 each. I'm just gonna go through pricing at the end. I wanna be transparent, let you know how much I actually spent on all this stuff. And I think it's beautiful. This is well worth it. Well worth it. Not worth it considering I bought one extra and spent an extra $30, which was not fun, but well worth it for the quality of the yarn and how pretty the color is. Not lastly, oh no, I have 3 more. This is so embarrassing. And yes, I'm very blessed. I feel very grateful for this birthday month of yarn. Now, this yarn, this is the Knitting for Olive Pure Silk in the colorway Dove. I have 3 of these, and I plan on knitting this top from Fable Knitwear, and it's a test knit right now, so I don't know the name of it officially. Oh, it's the Agnes camisole. I plan on knitting that with it. And I also thought that was perfect because Agnes, that is my patron saint, Saint Agnes of Rome, which is why my account is Aggie Knits. So I thought that was very fitting. I got 3 of these, and those I believe were like $9 each, so like $27. Second to last, this is the Kelbourne Woolens Scout in the colorway Lichen that I talked about previously with my Allie jumper turned top. This one was $18 for the skein, and I only purchased one even though I used 2 for it because one was gifted to me by a friend. All right. Lastly, for the purchases, I don't have them yet because they were pre-order, but I ordered the Pride and Prejudice. Which colorway did I get? I'll check that. I got the colorway Afford to Be Romantic, and I purchased it in the DK Rambouillet. I bought 5 of them. It was very pricey, probably the most that I've ever spent on an individual yarn purchase. I think it came out to like $160. It was very expensive. It's also the first time I've ever pre-ordered yarn before, so that was not going to do that often, but it was really nice to be able to do that for my birthday. I'll put some pictures of it on the side, may have already in the first few seconds of talking about it, but it is this gorgeous collection from Woolberry Fiber Co. All these Pride and Prejudice, beautiful colors. No, I'm not even going to guess how many colors there were because they're just so pretty. And I don't remember because they're all kind of fading into my mind right now. But I purchased it the weekend of my birthday. My birthday was March 29th. I think I bought it on the 30th or the 31st. So it's an 8 to 10 week turnaround. I should be getting it within the first couple weeks of June. That yarn is so beautiful, and with it, I plan to knit up the book club cardigan. So yes, I did find another cardigan project to knit up because I am obsessed with my pickle chips cardigan, but it's going to be so pretty. I've seen everyone's projects of it. I do believe it's a worsted, but I like a good DK, so I'm going with that. And also, I think the other reason is because I was not about to spend $200 on worsted yarn for a cardigan. I'm just not going to do that. So I did the DK, and I think it'll work out. It should work out. I saw a few DK versions of it, and they looked almost identical. I get hot really easily, so I don't need the extra weight of the worsted. I think it'll work out. And if it doesn't, we'll make it work because that's a lot of yarn to have spent money on to not put toward what I want it to go toward. Yes, so that was my final purchase, was the Afford to Be Romantic one. Just Pride and Prejudice has so much, impact, but influence, what word am I looking for? Meaning. It has so much meaning to me. That is the movie that I watched on my bachelorette party. It's the movie that I make my husband watch with me for my birthday. And just to have that collection come out a day after my birthday, I was like, I have to buy something from it. They totally tricked me with the marketing on that one. Not that they needed to trick me because it's so beautiful anyway, but they tricked me, a person who does not pre-order yarn, into pre-ordering that yarn. And it was worth it. All right, I'm going to do something really devastating for me and calculate these numbers, and I'll let you know how much I spent. 508. That's the most I've ever spent on yarn, ever. Yeah, that's insane. I'm not going to do that again for a long time. I don't feel guilty about it though, because it was for my birthday. But yeah, I'd also, in background context, I've been saving for a long time to spend on my birthday. Like, I've been saving for like half the year. So kind of like, we'll call it like 5 months worth of yarn purchases, and I'm not mad at $100 a month. Am I? Interesting. This is a lot to think about. I'll think about it later, but I feel good with everything I bought. I love it. And you know what? I'm not going to think about it later because that's that. Purchased it, absolutely love it. Love all the projects that I've made with it. Bringing me a lot of joy and happiness, and I saved up for it. So yeah, that's my thought process behind it. Love it. Yeah, so I guess I'll talk about the 2 projects that I'm working on right now, and it'll be really quick because I literally casted both of them on last night, so I'll just get into that. And to also add, once again, the spinning class as well, which wasn't really a purchase of mine, but it has to do with purchases and yarn. So yeah, I'm going to do the spinning class, and then I'll probably make a video afterward because I just want to focus on it while I'm doing it, but I'll make a video afterward of the process and how much I loved it and everything. So the first whip is, let me get these out. This is the Arctos socks from Wei Chen Chan. I believe that's the pronunciation of her name, but she is also known as Sasky & Co., or formerly the Petite Knitter. I've done test knits for her before, and she is wonderful to work with. She's so creative, very responsive, and she just has a very distinct style, which I appreciate a lot, because there are some designers who it's like, it's all over the place, and I love all the variety that they have, but when you see a pattern from Sasky & Co., you know that it's going to be natural colors. You know that it's going to be a beautiful design, probably revolving around nature or something to do with the seasons changing. You know, so you just have that expectation when you go in, and she does a beautiful job of always delivering. So these socks, I didn't include this yarn in my purchases because this is yarn that my dad purchased for his socks. These are for him. And let me show you what the finished product will look like. I'm getting this pattern from her Arctic Knits pattern book. And this one I actually got on sale for, I think, $20. So also, if you see any words on the side, all this stuff is already on her Ravelry page. So this isn't anything to do with the pattern. I'm doing the darker of the two, and I'm going to do 2 of the darker version. And I think he's going to love it. Well, I know he's going to love it because he picked it out when he bought the yarn for it, but he's going to love the finished product. That's one of them. And, oh, did I already say I got this yarn on, or this pattern book on a really good sale? I got it for $20 on sale when she was doing her Chinese Lunar New Year sale on Amazon. And I am doing this pattern as well. I'm doing the Baffin jumper. This one I am using that extra skein of perennial and using up a few of these Harriet fine yarns. So that's really fun. I'll show my progress on that. I started last night, so I really don't have a lot of progress, and I injured my hand because I knit so much yesterday. But I just have like a little bit into the color work there. That one is knit up on size 4 needles. So it's relatively, I don't want to say gapey, but it's relatively airy for a fingering weight yarn pattern. Yeah, those are my whips right now. I'm just going to put that away because if I don't do that now, I may not do it at all, which I hate to say, but it's true. So once again, thank you so much for joining me for this video today. It was so nice to get back into it, to talk to you guys about the pattern that I've been working on, the projects I've been doing, the yarn that I have been very much purchasing, and did I already say the whips that I'm working on? I probably did. Anyways, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm glad that I was able to get back into it with some positivity and a clear mind after having all that stuff going on in the beginning of March. So it was just nice to have a moment to sit down, you know, reconnect, reestablish what I'm trying to do here, just trying to, I guess, just share in the knitting community. And I love what you all have done for me. So thank you for all of your advice over the past couple months about projects to do. I have received some really great advice from a follower about, or a subscriber rather, about socks. They said that their dad said that if you're constantly disappointed by something, lower your standards. And honestly, I did about my socks, and now I wear them every day. So you've changed my knitting life. So thank you for that. I really appreciate all of the feedback you guys give me on the projects that I'm working on, ways that I can improve, because I am a beginner knitter. I've been knitting for about 1.5 years, and sometimes I become blind to the errors in my projects because I'm so happy with how they've turned out that I don't notice the things that I can improve on, and I'd love to notice them so that my next pieces can be better than the last. So thank you for all of that. Yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing so that you can see the next ones coming up, and consider liking and commenting about what your favorite thing that you're working on right now is, or if you have, oh, this is a good one. Please let me know your favorite summer yarns, because this is a little too rough for me. Let me know that. Okay, I'm rambling. Thank you for joining me today. Once again, this is Aggie Knits. It was wonderful having you. Have a blessed day.